Okay, right. So I'm going to finish off this discussion on payoff tables, right? By looking at the last type of decision method or decision type we could make, and it's actually quite an interesting one. Let's look at the scenario here. So what I want to do is I want to look at the following table below, and I want you to decide which machine we're going to choose based on all we've talked about so far. So this is what we have here. We have two machines. We use low demand. When we have low demand, we're going to get £100 and from machine A, and we'll get 99 from machine B. When we have high demand, we'll get £1,000 and we'll have £10,000 from machine B. Now, let's talk about what this maxi-min person would say. The maxi-min person will say, okay then, worst case scenario, I'm going to have low demand, and I'm going to pick the best case scenario. So I'm going to maximize my minimum situation, my minimum lot, if you like, in life. Maximize it. And to maximize it, he's going to go for £100 because that's the greatest figure. So he's going to go with machine A. My maximax person is going to say, I'm going to hope that we have high demand, and therefore I'm going to maximize my maximum hope, and therefore I'm going to go with 10 grand. And then we're done. But if you look at this, it is a bit of an odd scenario. I mean, the difference isn't much really here, isn't it? I mean, you have 100 here and you have 99 here. And then you see this massive difference between the scenarios here. So really, if I really ask you sincerely, you probably think, oh, there's barely any difference here. So, I'm willing to maybe lose out. And that's what this very third scenario is really about. I'm willing to lose out on £1 or whatever so that I can make this amount here. I mean, how much do I really lose if I take machine B, technically? And that's what this is all about. And this is referred to as the minimax, to minimize the maximum regret. Minimize is called the minimax regret scenario. So what we're going to do is, let's look at what we're saying here. How do we work this out? So you get your numbers. So we get your numbers. I need a sort of a clean page to do this on. Let's see if I can clean this. I can't clean this. Let me just come back here. Forgive me. Discard actually, so that I can actually have a clean page again. That's right. So what we do is, so we say, well, okay. So if I choose to go for low demand, let's just say I want to go with the I'm being the minimax person. If I'm the minimax person and I'm sort of thinking things are going to be bad, okay, great. So I'm lucky, and I go with machine A, and it's low demand, and I'm lucky. Well, my regret is 0, isn't it? Because I regret nothing. I chose low demand. Demand was low, and that's the scenario. But then, well, of course, because demand was low, I've lost out, if you like. If I had chosen machine B, I would have lost out on £1, basically, because I could, if I had chosen machine B and demand was low, I would have lost a potential £1, really, isn't it? Because if I chose machine A, well, that's spot on. If I chose machine B, I've lost out on £1. Now, if I had gone here to high demand, and if demand was high, and I had chosen machine B, well, great, I've lost nothing. But if I had chosen machine A, and demand was high, well, I've lost out on a potential £9,000. So the thinking here is this. Let's start again. You can listen to this, you can go over this, you can rewind the video just to make sure you're clear. You will make a decision here, and then this will happen. Either of these will happen. So if you make a decision to go with machine A, and you have low demand, well, lucky you. No regret. You've lost out. But if you had chosen machine B and we had low demand, you've lost out on £1. You make a decision to go with machine A and we have high demand. Well, unfortunately, you will lose out on 9 grand because you could have chosen machine B and nailed 10,000. But if you had chosen machine B and you have high demand, well, great, you've made 10,000, you have no regret. So the question here is, what is the maximum regret? And the maximum regret is this 9 grand here. We don't want that. We don't want that. We need to minimize that regret. And so we want to choose the one with the least regret. You know, the least sort of scenario. And the one with the least regret is this 99 pounds. So we go with machine B because we know with machine B, whatever happens, we are only going to lose out on £1. Right? If it's low demand, we lose out on £1. If the high demand, yeah, we've got what we wanted. And that's really simply the argument of what I'm saying. And I just sort of clarified it here, you know, in sort of fairly clear terms. Okay, right. And so this is referred to as the minimax regret. Yes. And so again, in your textbook on that Jeffrey Ramsbottom, please go through that exercise. I mean, we will be doing exercises from the textbook anyway, and from the exam kit anyway. But to just please try and really get the theory in your mind clearly about what we're trying to do. So you're almost trying to find out what the regret would be. So you're creating a second table of regret to make a decision. So you've got your information, and then you come here and you create the second table of regret. And then you can make a decision from there. Okay. Right, great stuff. I think what I'll do is, that's where I'll stop now. And then for next week, I'll send, next week I'll send tables on decision tables, decision trees, and perfect information. I mean, you can read up on it. But hopefully I can get to discuss it in class. You know, when I see you on Friday. That's my plan. And then we sort of, please read up on budgeting as well. And I'll discuss that in class as well. But that means that we can sort of, you know, tie these number of chapters up as quickly as possible. Okay, great stuff. I'll see you on Friday.